Heard this term from this real orthodox looking Jewish guy on the internet called Gogu Magoga. Gogu Magoga or Gogu Maguga. Gogu Maguga. Anyway, it's World War III. According to him, their prophecy, the Torah, the Talmud, whatever the Torah. And the idea is you're going to stoke up hate between Christians and Islam. So they're going to hate each other. War's going to get going, blah, blah, blah. And at some point, there'll be an 8-minute exchange. Whatever, I'm thinking nuclear, doesn't say, of course, the Torah. But after this 8-minute exchange, it's going to kill 2/3 of the planet. 2/3 killed. 8 minutes, World War III. And only the good Jews survive, okay? Bad Jews, I don't know. Good Jews, you're going to make it. You're going to survive. You accept the Torah. And if you don't accept the Torah, you're like a goy. You're goyim. You're no good. You're crap. And for the rest of you, the goyims that do survive, some will survive. 2/3 of humanity will be wiped out. 1/3 will survive, according to this guy. And there'll be some left that are not good Jews, right? But they will have the chance to accept the Torah kind of as a goyim slave of the chosen race. So the Jews are the only ones that are chosen. The only ones that God likes and chose are the Jews. Everyone else not chosen. Not chosen goyim. Okay? So, and you're supposed to kind of, if you are goyim, just accept your place. You're going to live behind a separation wall. It's in an apartheid state. Life's going to suck for you. That's too bad. But that's the way that goes. So it's interesting to see this character, this Gogu Moyoga, whatever it is. I'm not saying it right. What's sad, though, is that all the major world religions, have this. They don't have a happy ending. Doesn't end well. There's not a formula for converting people or healing each other or saving the planet or anything like that. What there is a definite end. It's kind of like that's it. Okay. You did my way or the highway. I guess that's just the way it's got to be. You didn't accept what you needed to accept. You didn't believe the thing. And so, are you not chosen? Sorry. And tough luck, kid. Better luck next time. About 2/3 you're going to die. And so the Christian, especially the Christian Zionist version of Christianity that is pretty prevalent in America today, there is a lot of this about the end, a fascination with the end. And the Christians don't want to wait for God's timing. They don't, part of the prophecy that has to be fulfilled is there's got to be a third temple where the Al-Aqsa Mosque happens to be. It's the second most precious site for the Islamic world. And that has to be where the Jewish temple gets built so that the Christians can be raptured. Right? Christians can't be raptured for the second coming until there's a new temple. And so let's just go ahead and do whatever it takes, start World War, do whatever has to happen, and go ahead and start on that temple. Let's don't wait for God's timing. We're going to just speed it up. Self-fulfilling prophecy here. You know what I mean? End times, bro. But that's scary. And it just speaks to how dysfunctional our religions are as a species, looking at us as a species. If you're an alien orbiting above, and we all got to send delegates up to talk to you, and the delegate for the Christians went up there, the delegate for the Jews, and the delegate for the Islamic people. Now we went up there and explained our religion to the alien. I think he'd be like, it's time to clean this planet. It's time to purge. We need new beliefs. These people destroying themselves is kind of built into their belief structures. It's built right in, right? So that's sad. And that makes sense if you're looking at, like, religions that were forged in contentious deserts 1500 years ago, or kind of when Persia and Greece and the Israelites and the Egyptians, when they were kind of vying for the same patches of land, for them to have a lot of prophecy about hey, we're the ones. God likes us, not them, right? We're supposed to be here, not you. That makes sense. That your religion, the tone of your book would kind of sound like that. But then, of course, there is some wisdom in there. I'm a believer. I'm a Christian, so I believe that somehow, despite our massive human failings, and most of the people that wrote the Bible had huge problems, but despite all that, somehow the Holy Spirit, the great Creator, whatever Gaia, Earth Mother, whatever it is, somehow some truth, some wisdom got in there, made it into these texts. And so I think that reading these texts is still really valuable. Also, it reflects the thinking of the time, and it's sort of poetic. A lot of times these texts are kind of poetic. Sometimes they're not. The rabbinical additions tend to screw up the rhythm of that poetry, but there is a poetry there. There's a rhythm, there's a Yahweh, an oral tradition back in these texts that's often sounds nice, reads nice, beautiful imagery, archetypal themes, archetypal imagery. You can learn about ourselves, learn about the human species, the human shadow self, the things we fear, the things we hope for. It's all kind of there in these religious texts. Some of the Zoroastrian writings, for the Persians, the Torah basically for Islam, Jews, and Christians. That's basically the old ancient text. And the Christians, they added some stuff. You had this very prolific writer named Paul, and you had Luke, this Greek physician guy named Luke, and I don't know, James, I think brother of Jesus, maybe, or one of the hardcore Jewish disciples of Jesus. Wanted to be more traditional Jewish. Thought that things needed to remain more traditional Jewish. Anyway, these are all the early writers of the first century Bible. First, second century Bible that was, and these were the kind of things that showed up at the Council of Nicaea, where then they proceeded to decide what goes in the Bible, what stays out of the Bible. And that happened at the Council of Nicaea. Well, there's been a few gatherings, Rome and other places, where they talk about what are we going to keep, what do we chuck out. And so then you end up with this thing, and then King James, wow, another edition. But yeah, so these texts, these religious ideas, this stuff. But I feel like as a species, we're going to have to, all of us are going to have to reach a place where we say, yes, what I believe is the ultimate truth. Otherwise, if I don't say that, if I don't believe that, I'm not a true believer. You can't be a half-assed believer and think your thing is just like, okay, it's just another flavor of ice cream. You know what I mean? No, your thing is the thing. That's why you believe it. But at the same time, you have to be able to take that position. But at the same time, you have to realize that you live in Nineveh. You don't live in the promised land. This isn't Jerusalem. We're not escaping from Egypt, and God's going to give us the Holy Land and all that. None of that's operative right now. That's not the thing. You live on planet Earth. It's been occupied by lots of different kinds of races and species and lots of different religious beliefs. By the time you got here, you're late to the party. Okay, nothing about you is probably original where you are anymore. All right. If you're Native American, then maybe you can make that claim and you can kind of stand up for that. But a lot of other people, not really, not so much. And anyway, all of us now have to get to the point where I tolerate you. I accept you and what you do, and I can be me. I can be me, and you can be you. You can be, Islamic, but you can't be Islamic and try to tell my woman what she has to wear. That's not going to fly. That's not going to work. If you want to be Islamic and pray in the direction of Mecca 5 times a day, that's fine. I'm going to protect your right to do that. I love that. I think that's beautiful. Go for it, bro. Love it. But if you insist on doing it really loud over a loudspeaker for the whole community to hear, okay? Wrong. Bad. Nope. Wrong. Bump, bump. No. Go into the temple. Go somewhere. Do your little thing. Doesn't have to be private, but it just can't be invasive. It can't be loud. It can't be trying to include the rest of the community. Okay? So I can't do that. Also, if you're a Christian and you want to take a knee at a football game, or you want to pray, you want to say something that's special to you, then go ahead and do that at a kind of a volume that's not too offensive. And again, not expecting everyone else to do it. You're in a football stadium filled with Buddhists and people who don't have any religion, atheists. You're in there with Jews and Muslims and Christians and everything. So if you insist, we all got to pray the Christian way, because America, God made America. See, now you're an idiot, and it's dumb, and it's bad, and it's lame. If you say, I want to have the right to pray before the football game, then just go ahead and pray and do it quietly, and no one cares. No one notices, right? This is where we have to get. We have to get to this place where we can actually live together and tolerate each other, and so that the religion can never again be weaponized against us. A lot of times the elites that are taking things and ruling things want to enslave you or whatever. They're great at using the religion as a way to do that, as a part of helping them to enslave you, helping them to take over the resource, helping them to become next to the king. Whatever they do with the religion in a hierarchical sense is wrong, right? That's prideful. That's not the true religion. Much of the Catholic structure is not the true religion. Much of the Presbyterian structure, not the true religion. This is nothing that had anything to do with Jesus, right? The Pope and the bishop and the beads and all that, the incense and all. Incense, maybe, okay, that's traditional. But, a lot of things have come later. They've just been added by people and men. And some of the men have said, by the way, if you want to reach God, I'm the Pope. I'm right here. Come talk to me, and then I'll issue a pamphlet that'll tell you what God said back, right? But Christianity actually says you can just talk to God for yourself. That's the liberating part of the new covenant of Christianity. No need to go to the synagogue. No need to do the sacrifice in the right way. Jesus is the sacrifice. That's the sacrificial blood. There's no need you don't have to give money to any temple sycophant of Rome or any of that. You don't have to do any of that anymore. And if you're Buddhist, you don't have to, there's no Buddhist hierarchy. There's no, the Brahmin caste in India, that's a complete falseness. That's not true. Hindu, that's nothing to do with the Bhagavad Gita. So there's a wisdom that's underneath all of this that includes everyone. And when people use that to set up a hierarchy, it's wrong. It doesn't matter if it's Hindus doing it, if it's Buddhist, if it's Christians, it's Muslim. It doesn't matter. Anybody creating a hierarchy and saying, aha, I'm the thing. If you want to get to the Buddha, then you have to come meditate like I meditate. All those other, no one else is having a Buddha experience. They're not Buddha. True expression of Buddhism is we're all Buddha nature, right? There's that bad joke. It's a bad joke too. But the master in the Zen temple, his students are very studious, and he's walking around very stern, and he smacks one of them. Tell me, does the dog have Buddha nature? And of course, the student is so eager, wants to say the right thing. Oh, yeah, yes, master. Yes, master. The dog does have Buddha nature. And then the master, smack, you're wrong. The dog is Buddha nature, right? So in other words, Buddha, nature, God, everything, the spirit, creator, is mutually arising. It's all coming into the now time all the time. And you can get in tune with that and appreciate it. And just basically you have to quiet your own mind. This is true in Christianity. It's asking for you to surrender, let go, and let God. That's basically what a big part of the religion is. Like, my idea is I wanted to kind of take over this village, rape all the women, and hoard all the money for my family. That was kind of my idea, right? God says, no. Humble yourself. Chill out, bro. Chill down. Chill out. Humble yourself. In quiet prayer time, seek me. Seek a deeper, universal understanding, wisdom that transcends all of nature and infuses you with ancient wisdoms and things like that. And so that's how, you can really discover some real spirituality in your own quiet time, in your own seeking, your own interpretation of whatever text you're working with. That's fine. But for you to then go along and say, well, now we have to impose this on everyone else. Everyone else in this village has to pay taxes to the knight, and they have to, when we say bow down, before they go into the aisle at the church, they have to genuflect. They have to do the dots of water, or they got to do the thing, whatever. See, that's all added structure. Some of that structure I don't want to criticize. Some of that structure I think is actually, people realize it's symbolic. People realize they're not actually touching holy water when they touch that stuff, that it's a metaphor for something. And in that sense, it's a powerful metaphor for the Holy Spirit or something like that. Can be nice, can be good. But when it becomes too literal, when these things that you're given, these symbols and these phrases and these traditions, these things that you've been told to do, then they're actually, when you take them too seriously and they become too big, then they're actually replacing what is a true experience with the beautiful mystery of the universe. That's what spirituality has to offer. Real, kind of mytho-poetic, dreamlike encounters, or totally awake encounters with divinity, with the divine mystery. Okay? That's spirituality. That's real. When somebody comes along and says, oh, no, you don't do that, I have the answer. You don't have to seek or do anything. I have the answer for you. Here it is. It's this little pamphlet. You just have to give me $10 right now and then read this pamphlet and do exactly what this pamphlet says. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything for yourself. No discovery, no prayer, nothing like that. See, that's false. That's false religion. And much of what we have now is false religion. And in times of crisis, the false religion, the control religion, comes into power more. After the plague, you had people trying to really control what happens. They were afraid. They were freaked out. And so you had crusades and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But everyone needs to relax, chill out, not be so concerned about what everyone else is doing, not ever try to impose what you do on them, So we go to a public event together, a football game. Don't try to, it's not going to be a Sharia prayer. We're not all going to get on our knees and pray in the direction of Mecca. It's not going to be a Christian prayer that we necessarily impose on each other. We can just say a little thing, hey, goodwill kind of for the whole event, for the whole thing, right? It's funny how everything gets revised also in literal culture, including our Pledge of Allegiance. The original Pledge of Allegiance, you know what the original Pledge of Allegiance is? I pledge allegiance to liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to liberty and justice for all. Period. End. There. It's done. Don't let some 50s McCarthyite freak add one nation under God. Now we just went from liberty and justice to all to Christian nationalism, right? In one phrase, adding one phrase. One nation under God. Right? That was added in the 1950s. That's not part of the original Pledge of Allegiance. That's kind of in a religious sense what I'm talking about. We kind of just need to get back to, I pledge allegiance to liberty and justice for all. That's it. That's kind of the way I feel religiously as well. Religiously, socially, what you do is what you do. And we all need to get there. And so this whole project for Greater Israel is so destructive for the human spirit right now. In so many ways, this project is destructive and horrible. And it must be ended. The project for Greater Israel has to be ended. The Ben Shapiros of this world need to go away. I was going to say go to, H-E-double-L, but in my need to be compassionate and tolerant, if Ben Shapiro wants to be a total jerk face, idiot, that's fine. That's up to him, but he shouldn't have a whole lot of reach. He should be a little idiot over in a little idiot closet, right? Ben Shapiro, Mark Levine, these kinds of people, these kind of dupes of Israel, they're lying satanic dupes of Israel, causing chaos and murder. And so we need to keep them back in their corner. They're not real Jews. They're not expressing they have no authority. They're not a rabbi. Mark Levine is not a rabbi. Ben Shapiro is not a rabbi. He's not a teacher. They don't have it. They're wrong. They're off. They may as well be goyim. They may as well be not even Jews at all, the way they act. All right, so everybody tolerate each other, promote love. Love is the thing. If you're a Native American, love. Love yourself. Love your culture. Love your language. Love your land. Love your water. Love the water. Love yourself. Love your history. Love. Love your neighbors. Accept them. Love them. Oh, Jeff, I believe in the purple Christmas tree. That's my God. I believe in the silver stick. I believe in Festus for the rest of us. Whatever. That's fine. That's all good. Festivus for the rest of us. Remember that episode? There's something there. Anyway, God bless. Really, seriously, God bless you. And I hope you have a happy holidays this time. You know what I mean? There's so much on us right now. And we have to stop the genocide and advance as a species. Somehow we have to talk about that in a way that also is not so offensive to all the religions. Or not one world or, Antichrist, going to rule over everybody. But just a real evolution where, we evolve to a point where we can tolerate other things and kind of get on as a species without the, existential threat of ruining it all. That's where we have arrived right now. 2025, we're back right at the threat of an 8-minute blow-up exchange of the whole thing. And some people feel good about that. They think that they're kind of itching for that. So spread love. All right. Cheers.